Welcome back to another episode of The Canon. Today we'll be looking at the Suicide Squad set visit and a bunch of other stuff. Alright, first up in the news, Suicide Squad has finally allowed the reporters to report on the set visit that they took over a year ago. And a lot of news came out from that set visit. Sal, I'll let you take it away. You probably know more about it than me.
So there was a lot of news coming out, but I think the biggest one, which Terry does not want me to say, but we already know most of it. But if you haven't looked into anything, then we'll throw up a spoiler here right now. But for the most part, I won't go into the scene verbatim because Terry's being a little baby about it. But basically, they go on their first mission. This is at the end of the first act. They don't know what they're going into. Rick Flag knows what the mission is behind the scenes. They encountered this magical thing, and one can only think that that's the adversary, what was now being called the villain of the movie. And they could not stop it, so Rick Flag and Enchantress, which she already had her powers by then, went to go stop it. And it sounds like Enchantress either went with the adversary or got taken by the adversary. So their mission is basically to either get Enchantress back or stop Enchantress if she's on the bad side now. So we already kind of knew that Enchantress was not on the team, so I don't know what the big deal is, Terry. But that is the rundown of the scene description that the reporters got a look at during it. So what do you think of that?
Very unnecessary scene description. I'm very disappointed. We just had a canon chat about non-spoilers. People have different spoiler sensitivity.
They didn't have to watch it. I told them.
I had to listen to it. I didn't want to hear it.
You could have stopped me.
Okay, well, we won't get into that. But no, I didn't need to hear that. It's 3 weeks away. I'm ready to just watch. I don't need to know any more at all about this movie. But Sal wants to go ahead and ruin people's life. That's fine. Also, out of this set visit, yes, the adversary, as Sal mentioned, is going to be the main villain. I don't know. I don't even want to think about it because Monster T, we know, is a part of it. His comic book history with his powers do seem to kind of fit what's going on, but that does look like a larger villain at play. I don't know much about the adversary. Not going to look into it. I just want to be surprised at the movie. The part that I like is David Ayer talking about Batman. And they asked about him being in the movie, how much he's in the movie and all that stuff. And he basically said how Batman's going to be a nightmarish type character. Mm-hmm. He talked about how we're going to be seeing Batman from the villain's perspective, which I think is a very, very cool thing that we've never really saw. I mean, I think a lot of people say that. I retrace my steps. We saw the most of that from Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins, where you got the deception and I forgot what he said, theatrical something or whatever, but the League of Shadows taught him to appear more than what he was. And so at the beginning in Batman Begins, a lot of criminals were like, this is like some type of creature and not just a regular man. So, but in this movie, we'll get to see full out. All these villains been put away by Batman. You know, we see Bruce Wayne, we see Alfred, we see them at the Batcave. We know what the mission is. They don't know this stuff. All they're out there living life, and something shows up, and so we're going to see a scary looking Batman. And Ben Affleck's the Batman to do that. So that's the one thing that stood out for me from the set visit.
Same here. That's going to be very interesting to see. When he's jumping to save, I think, Harley in the trailer, he either has something on his mouth, like a breather apparatus.
That's what it is.
I think that's what it is too. But it also could be their perception of how he looks because they don't see him all the time like we do as a viewer. I don't know. I don't think they're going to do that, but that's just something I caught, and then something I thought about is David Ayer went deeper into that. Just one more thing, I guess. It's not really from the set, but Scott Eastwood's character, again, is getting some more theories thrown at him. We did get confirmed that his patch or whatever says GQ Edwards, Lieutenant GQ Edwards or something like that. So we don't know who that is, but people are again thinking that is kind of being deceptive to either the storyline or us as the viewer. Nightwing has always been coming up, or Agent Grayson, or Grayson, however you want to say that. And newly rumored is Green Arrow, Oliver Queen.
There's no way he's Green Arrow.
Yeah, well, the only reason was because there was a movie that was, I think it was either animated, or I don't think it was live action. I think it was animated. But either way, it was scrapped recently, like before the DCEU. It was called Green Arrow Escape from, what is it? Escape from Supermax. And basically, Oliver Queen is wrongfully put into jail, and he has to get out from the help of other villains, or not other villains, but villains. So that's just a theory. So we'll see. But yeah.
Sorry. I hope that's not true.
I don't think he's gonna be anyone special. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, like same thing with Jen Malone. I think you called it.
I know I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. Okay.
I did.
Well, yeah, she's no one.
You led me astray, and I followed you. But I mean, whatever. What was I gonna say? Yeah, at this point, like as I said before, I am close enough to the movie. I'm ready to just watch it. I don't want to over speculate this one. We'll see how everything is once the movie comes out. But leading up to it, it's looking good. The numbers have came out this week. It's tracking at over 125 million, which is a gigantic opening for a movie of this smaller scale. I mean, it's DC, but it's not a known
BVS,
yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's Joker, but besides that, people don't know who these people are. So that's a huge track, and this marketing has been just off the chain. I mean, I don't know if it's all been so much quality like Deadpool. It was just like a lot, and it was all great. It's just a lot. I think it's a lot of quantity to this. It's like you've been hearing Suicide Squad over and over again for so long. And they just find different stuff to give you. Like they just gave us the kind of character introduction videos,
the promo.
And I'm like, I love them. I love the way those look, but it's just like so much stuff. Like they got their own tattoo posters. Now they got these, and they got their own logo.
But I also don't think it's oversaturated like BVS was at all.
See, I didn't think BVS gave you a lot. It was a lot of the same stuff.
But they gave you a lot of footage of the movie. Like you could basically.
I don't think they gave you a lot.
Oh yeah, they did.
I think they gave you major points, but it wasn't. It was until the final trailer where we saw that Batman fight scene and all that. You saw the same stuff. It was always the Batman bumps into Superman in his car. It was always Bruce meets Clark.
But then you always got a little bit more.
It was always the same stuff.
But you always got a little bit more. I think they gave us way too much. But that's
well, yeah, that was. I mean, yeah, people didn't want to know any. I didn't want to know anything, but. Anyway, Suicide Squad, it's tracking high.
Do you think it's gonna beat Deadpool out? That's just a discussion people are having. That was 150 something. I think that was
their 4-day weekend because it had the holiday.
I don't know. Well, even so,
3-day weekend. I think it was like 130 something, 33.
Well,
so
yeah.
No, I don't think it. No. Not opening weekend. I think this movie is going to have the legs on it. If this is going to be a movie where all the hardcore and curious fans will go see it opening weekend, and then once it comes back, this is good. Then you'll have the flood of all the regular fans that go see it.
I'll probably see it twice. I mean, as long as if it's as good as I think it's going to be.
And another thing we talked about, the runtime came out. It's 90 minutes.
No, that was false.
Was it?
Yeah, it's 2 hours, and I think it's just over 2. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes with credits.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I'll fact check that because that just killed a lot of my steam.
No,
I was like, yes, 90 minutes. Yes, I was like happy. I was like, it will be streamlined.
2 hours and 3 minutes, and then 7 minutes.
Another 2-hour movie. But I mean, if it's as fun as we saw,
I think a 2-hour movie is gonna move quick.
Yeah,
it's gonna go quick.
If it's as fun as we think it's going to be. And then lastly, this is a great juxtaposition to the Justice League set visit. The movie's not done filming, and they not only had a set visit, they also let them report the next day. Now we're talking about a Suicide Squad set visit just now coming out with the reports from over a year ago. So this really shines light on the older story of Justice League set visit. It really shows you the different dynamic they're taking with the new property to say, hey, we're trying to gain fans back. Because you think about Suicide Squad, like over a year, that's even kind of long for a set visit. Usually it's like a few months or something. But so they've been sitting on this information for a while, but we've been saying we don't know much about this movie, and I like it that way. I would have liked to not hear any scenes, but
we already knew it there.
No, I didn't. Enchantress, that changes everything. I did not know she was gonna be with them to start off. You screwed me, but whatever. All right. Any other thoughts on?
We did know she was there at the beginning, but no, I don't think so.
All right, so let's move to a segment near and dear to our heart. Keep it or sweep it. All right, first up, keep it or sweep it. We have Spider-Man set photos and videos. Young Tom Holland is hopping around in that Spider-Man suit, doing his own stunts, posting some Spidey selfies on a very, very high ladder, I imagine. Some videos of a scene. We don't really know what's going on. Some stunt work. But, Sal, what do you think about this?
Just in terms of excited and this movie moving along, I'm going to keep it. It seems, though, that recently we've had an influx of actors and actresses sharing life on set more so, I think, than we have ever before. I don't really track that stuff, but it just seems like more stuff has popped up. But yeah, and it's interesting too because we were just talking about before this how Tom Holland mostly does a lot of his own stunts, or he does a good majority. So it's pretty cool to see him, especially that high one up on the ladder or wherever he was. So right now I'm keeping this.
I keep it as well. Really love that high one. I don't know, it didn't seem so much like Tom Holland as it actually seemed like Spider-Man. Like something he would do. So I really like that, but also you got to see a real close-up of his web shooter design. So I personally always liked the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, that was one of his powers, that he could shoot webs, but it's cool. I really like the suit from Homecoming and everything. But I keep it, it's not big, but it shows you that it has a Spider-Man feel. Things are going along well.
It's fun.
I like that Tom Holland's doing a lot of his own stunts. He's like a world-class gymnast, and so that's one of the reasons I'm sure they picked him. But it was also confirmed by one of the writers or producers, I forget, but the homecoming reference in the title is there's an actual homecoming dance in the movie.
Your biggest fear?
Yes. I can't get the image of Tony Stark like chaperoning the
it's gonna happen. I guarantee you,
in this Iron Man suit. Just
the end of the movie. The end of the movie is gonna be he made it to Homecoming, and after whatever happened, then Tony's just he's gonna be there with Aunt May.
Oh god, that would be funny. Actually, I would laugh. I don't know. I don't mind it if it's like the very end. For some reason, I really want them to do like a Back to the Future scene where he like he shows up late, but then he like plays on stage. I don't know why, but that would not be
Let's
the
just get the
geeky
exact
Peter Parker,
same
though.
scene from Back to the Future.
Just plays Johnny B. Good. But so we keep that. All right, so moving on. Wonder Woman. A lot of stuff coming out before Comic-Con, which is always weird to me. I don't understand.
But not too much. Nothing big.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. So first, let's talk about the writers. It was okay.
Forgot about that.
It was confirmed once the official synopsis and everything came out. The writers for this movie is Jeff Johns and Alan Heinberg. Now, they wrote a screenplay based off a story by Zack Snyder, also with Alan Heinberg. So, Zack Snyder, Zack Daddy, is back at it again.
He
wrote the story, And Jeff Johns them came and cleaned it up for the movie, so we keep it sweeping.
100%. Whether you like Zack Snyder or not, the ladder is I'm keeping that. But you gotta think of it like Snyder had the big. I'm not even going too much into it, but Snyder had the big vision of this whole universe, which we all kind of agree with, I think, going along. But then you have different writers writing this whole thing, the nitty-gritty stuff that people had a problem with in BVS and whatever. So, but, Jeff Johns, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes, huge news. Huge. Keep it. First, let's talk about Alan Heinberg. We're talking about a guy that actually was one of the co-creators and original writers of New Mutants for Marvel, one of their comics that we'll be seeing a movie come out of. He did a Justice League arc with Jeff Johns in the comics. And he also wrote for Wonder Woman after Infinite Crisis. And he also was executive producer for the Wonder Woman TV show on the CW that only went to pilot. It didn't finish. But this guy's history of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And that's exciting that he is not only a part of the screenplay, but a part of the story. Now we talk about Zack Snyder. He's got heat from his second wind of Ultimate Edition BVS. People realize, you know what, maybe the story wasn't as dumb as we thought it was. I think when it comes to comic books, Zack is good enough to create a story that makes sense.
More of an outline.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be Oscar winning, but it's not going to be just stupid like people thought of him in BVS. But it's nice to see that he has his connective tissue in all the movies. And then Jeff Johns, I was worried when they named him like the guy for the DCU. That would just be more of a figurehead title.
He's a workhorse.
They're actually, not only is he like at the sets making sure things are right, he's writing. He's writing for them. And yes, Jeff Johns, dude, he knows DC. That is the dude. Jeff Johns should be a writer on every single DC movie to come out. He doesn't have to write it by himself. He needs to be one of the co-writers on every single one. This brings up the point. Don't remember the guy's name. I think it was like Finch or something. He was the original writer, and then he's the one that's supposed to be writing Lobo. So now we see that at some point in the process, his script was trash.
Yeah.
And they brought these people in. How do you feel about him now? We knew he wrote Pan, and he wrote like some other garbage movie. So it was like, wow, how did he get Wonder Woman? How is he getting Lobo? Do you think Lobo's in trouble now?
Well, I mean, we really haven't heard anything of Lobo since we reported on him writing it, but I don't know. It's a totally different movie. It's a totally different feel, totally different character. So depending on his take on it, I'm not worried of it as of right now. But them kicking him out, I mean, I feel like anyone could have gotten kicked out of that situation.
Yeah, I mean, writers get flipped all the time. Writing is so hard to pin down who really wrote what.
Yeah.
We talked about that with BVS. Chris Terrio came in with David Ayer's script David Goyer. And he kind of, we don't know what was Goyer's, what was Terrio's. So, yeah, writers can get kicked out, but dude, he doesn't even have a credit. So that means like they didn't use any.
Totally didn't use any.
So that, I don't know. I'm just saying. So all right, we'll look out for Lobo. It's gonna suck. All right, so the official synopsis came out, and it reads: before she was Wonder Woman, she was Diana, princess of the Amazons, trained to be an unconquerable warrior. Raised on a sheltered island paradise, when an American pilot crashes on their shores and tells of a massive conflict raging in the outside world. Diana leaves her home, convinced she can stop the threat, fighting alongside men in a war to end all wars. Diana will discover her full powers and her true destiny. Sal, keep or sweep that.
It's pretty general, but I am keeping it. I like the part where it says she discovers her full powers. So that's going to be interesting to see where she was before and where she is now. Well, we kind of already saw where she is now a little bit in BVS, but even so, in this World War I era, I want to see where she's going to be at. And the footage we've seen already, it looks amazing, and we're only gonna see more at Comic-Con, so keeping that.
I keep it. Yeah, Jeff Johns and the boys are all over this. This is classic Wonder Woman out the comics and some of the animated stuff. Like, what's his name? Steve Trevor crashes somehow on her island, and it goes from there. I'm hoping for a nice 50-50 split between her on Themyscira and her in the man's world. I really want to see a struggle between her mom letting her go. And, because from the description, it sounds like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to leave. But we know there's going to be more into that. But from the pictures, we can definitely see, like, Amazons at some point come into play. So if Amazons end up helping somehow, that'll blow my mind. But I really like what BVS did, because you knew it ended up bad. And so even though we know how it ends, we get to see that journey. I think it'll be exciting and suspenseful, knowing that it's going to end badly for her.
Yeah. So.
And then lastly, Wonder Woman images came out today. Bunch of pictures of Gal Gadot on set and then her uniform and all that. Keep or sweep those.
Keeping. I loved it how bright it was. And the reasoning for that, the reason it was so dark in BVS was because, well, one, Zack Snyder, but two, it was actually really much grittier because of all the blood on it. I don't know if you've heard that.
No,
that was supposedly reported because all the blood on it from the past years, and she hadn't washed it, I guess, since then. They don't have washer and dryer on Themyscira.
How do you wash metal?
I don't know, man. So keeping.
I keep it too. I've seen some mixed reactions online. Actually, some people think it looks a little too corny, a little too comic-y. Like just the pictures in general is a little too bright, and some people don't like Gal, but I definitely keep it. Yeah, it was a hard road for me to accept her, and some people feel like she didn't do anything BVS, but I think that those small moments, those infrequent dialogue is what made her more mysterious, more strong, and so I really loved her performance, and can't wait to see a full movie about her. But yeah, so much bright. I never heard that thing about the blood, but yeah, okay, that makes sense. Can't wait. Next up, we have Simon Kinberg, producer, executive extraordinaire at Fox. They were interviewing him and asking him what's coming up next, and he said Deadpool 2 is scheduled to start filming January 2017, and he said that he hopes Gambit is going to film in the spring of 2017. Sal, keep it sweet.
I guess Deadpool keeping. I don't see why they wouldn't be doing that. Gambit's a little bit different. Man, that's a tough one. Bad track record. I'm gonna sweep it just because I've kept everything so far. But supposedly they have the scripts for Gambit. I don't know if you just said that.
Supposedly.
Yeah. And Channing Tatum's still on board.
Eyes.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's supposed to do what? Spring 2017. We'll see. I don't know. This whole universe is just up in the air for me. So I'm sweeping that.
I'm actually going to double sweep it. And Gambit, I don't even need to explain that. That's not going to happen. I don't care what anyone says. But the reason I sweep Deadpool 2 filming in January is because the original movie came out in January. And I think that was actually, or no, it came out in February. Sorry. But I think it was one of the main reasons it did so well is because it was in a period where there weren't a lot of movies around it. And so with them filming in January, that kind of signals they'll be looking for a later release date, whether that's more towards the summer than the first movie. And I think
might be fall 2018 then.
I think the February platform worked well.
Because it kind of kicked everything off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a time where there's not a lot of competition. And you already got all the heat from the first movie. And they're going to just make the marketing campaign crazier. The movie's going to have more money. So just keep it where it is. Kind of like, I think it was like a last minute change for Star Wars Episode 7 to go to December. And because it was originally like summer or something. But it did so well. They was like, no, we're going to stay
every single
they was like,
December
we're going to
from
stay
now
in
on.
December. Like I think Deadpool should have stayed in February. It would have been Deadpool's month. So
Yeah, I mean they're confident and obviously they should be, but yeah, they just want to compete because right now X-Men did not hold up.
In 2017 is gonna be a packed year. I don't remember the schedule off the top of my head, but I think in the summer, like this year, we ain't have any.
Oh, they won't get it in. They won't get it in 2017.
Oh yeah, that's true.
2018. But still.
But they're gonna be packed for the next few years.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I just think February would have been a better date. All right, so moving on. Power Rangers character posters, lights and lightning bolts.
Yeah.
Keep it sweet.
I'm sweeping those. They weren't. I mean, we already saw. I'd rather have gotten those first and then gotten the suits next.
Okay.
So that's why I'm sweeping that. But I did see, and I didn't really see that. I don't know if there's a big gallery or not, but I did see a cool new picture of Rita. I don't know who she's holding up. I don't know if it was up against the wall.
Yeah, I didn't see the full picture. I saw it like on the side somewhere else.
It looked awesome. She looked so intense.
I need to see the full image, but
yeah, I don't know who it was. If it was one of the Rangers.
I think it was the Yellow Ranger.
Okay.
I think it was Becky Gomez.
So yeah, she looked intense. So just from that picture, Elizabeth Banks is doing good in my book so far. So, and we have her on the set walking, whatever that was, a few weeks ago. But yeah, but as a whole, I guess I'm sweeping the pictures just because nothing much. But I mean, we're still a whiles away, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, this is the toughest one I've had.
Oh, I'm excited
in the
for the
history
movie.
of the canon.
I'm excited for the movie.
Okay, can I mildly, gently keep it? Just gently keep it. Because I want to sweep it because it's just kind of, it's not much. It's kind of basic. It's not anything over the top. It's kind of just their face. We know it's a cheap lighting. We know it's the same little whatever lightning bolt thing, and they just flip the different light on it. But at the same time, it feels so much like Power Rangers.
Oh, it does, yeah.
And if you guys haven't heard, I love the Power Rangers. And just seeing their names again with their original Ranger. It's something about it just way better than that last poster. That card poster. What was that? So I really want to keep it, and then part of me is like, I still don't like this movie screams diversity for the sake of diversity. Like they just had to switch it up. Like we're going to get an Asian guy to play the Black Ranger, make the Black Ranger the Blue Ranger. It's like this dude's named Zach. It's like Zach Taylor. Like, I don't know Asian dude named Zach Taylor. So it's just like, that is weird. But I'm a mildly keep it because it makes me feel like the original Power Ranger, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, not all the crazy stuff that came afterwards. All right. Yeah, I can't wait to see that Rita picture. We need to look that up. All right, so this is last one. So Flash, the movie, has some news. We have Kiersey Clemens from Dope. She's actually one of 3 on the short list, and I do not know how to pronounce this girl's name, but I'm gonna say Lucy Boynton from Sing Street.
I can't see it following.
And we have Rita Ora from 50 Shades of Grey and also her music. So those are said to be the 3 on the short list, with Clemens from Dope being the front runner. So Sal, do you keep or sweep that list?
The list. Okay. I don't know. I guess I'm keep. I think Clemens is the front runner. I believe those reports, and I hope she is because I really enjoy her work. But I guess as a whole, I'm sweeping the whole then because I think she's the front runner. Rita Ora, I haven't seen her in anything. I know she's in Empire, I think I looked up, and obviously she's in 50 Shades of Grey. But I really want these movies to do really good. So I hope that they pick the right choices for all these characters because I think every character is important, especially in these solo movies. So Clemens is my choice, but I'm sweeping the list as a whole.
I'm gonna sweep this list, including Clemens, and nothing against. So okay, I work
from the Black.
I work from the bottom up. I don't know what Rita Ora is. I've heard the name, but I didn't know who she was, so I looked up the picture. Still not exactly sure what ethnicity she is. But that doesn't mean anything. She is a singer by trade. Now she's acting. She's British. I'm not holding that against her. Just saying. But she doesn't give me the Iris West vibe. She's way too, Kim Kardashian, Rihanna, pop star type person. When I saw that too. And so I'm like, nah, I wouldn't want her. The Lucy girl, she's so Sing Street is a new independent movie. I think it's out of theaters already, but I heard it's like amazing, like an amazing coming of age story.
Oh, yeah?
It's basically about a boy that like a loser that kind of starts his own band, and they kind of get a little hot. But this girl, I guess, is like the main female lead in that. And I looked it up, and she's got chops, and she definitely seems like she could play it, but it's weird because she was playing like a musician in that movie also, and I think she played a musician in another movie, and I'm like, why is it all these musicians now he's looking for? Iris West is a journalist, like a Lois Lane basically. Like, why are they looking for musicians? Clemens, loved and dope. I like the fact that Family Ewa, the director from Dope, he knows what she can bring, but I don't think that they need to change up the ethnicity of Iris just because the show did that. And it's like we're either trying to copy or we're just trying to do it because it's cool to say we got diverse characters. Like, I just feel like a classic Iris West could fit right here instead of trying to...
But I also think... sorry.
Well, I just think that's really only two ways I see it. Either you're like, oh wow, that worked on the show, they changed up the ethnicity, let's do that too. Or you're like, oh well, we don't want to go typical white girl, even though Lucy is a white girl, but they were like, let's kind of change it up. I don't see why you need to do that.
I also don't think this Barry Allen is the typical Barry Allen either.
No.
So I think it matches up well. But I'm not saying do it. Again, I'm not saying do it because you can do it, but I think it would mesh well with the Barry that we have.
I mean, but even looking at Israel, I just don't see any of these girls with Israel. None of these girls strike. As much as I like Clemens, she's talented. I think she's funny. She's got comedic chops and all that. I don't see any strong presence from these women. Like, Iris West is really like a straight Lois Lane.
See, I think Clemens has that strong. I think she can portray that well.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I mean, maybe she can. I just, from the stuff I've seen her in and her presence, it's more like it's kind of like Ezra Miller. It's like a hippie type flavor, like free flowing. I want someone, if Barry's gonna be like that, then even more so than the original Barry, you need a strong female. You need someone that's like, no, Barry, you don't think you can do it, but I know you can do it. Do it for me. And like, I don't see any of these girls giving that, so I have to sweep that list.
Okay.
Suck it. All right. Any final thoughts, and where can the people find us?
Thoughts go out to Turkey today, since I don't know if you've heard about that. Well, not Turkey, I'm sorry, France. Nice, France, but Turkey too. Nice, France. A lot of people died. So, as Terry said before, what if... Well, I don't think there were guns in that one, but what if... I don't know what you said. What'd you say?
What happened? Was it an explosion?
No, someone ran like a bus into a bunch of people.
Oh.
Like 80 people died.
Yeah, what if...
What if buses
could bounce off of?
Exactly. Well, that's classic Superman 101, lifting automobiles. So, anyways, I digress. You can find us on Twitter at The Cannon Blog or on Facebook, facebook.com/The Cannon.
Yeah, and my last thoughts, I don't know, there's so much going on out there, but yeah, I don't know. I think Sal's is good. How can I follow that?
Stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe, stay together, and if you heard it here...
And don't get killed by Pokemon Go.
Dude, I do not get Pokemon Go, but we'll talk about that a different day. Alright, if you heard it here, it's canon.